Our first stop was to be the city of Inverness. Inverness is known as Scotland's Highland capital. And would you believe the people of Inverness are reputed to speak the purest form of English in the UK? Welcome to Safe Movies Adventures. We're in Inverness just now and we're going to be heading up the east coast and crossing over the ferry to Orkney. But we'll be stopping on the way and exploring a few of the villages and trying to find out if there's anything interesting. And if there is, we'll tell you about it. But just now, we're in Inverness, as I said, and we're at the castle. So we'll start off exploring the castle because it's got an amazing history. What stands just now is a fairly new building. It was built in the 1830s and 1840s as a courthouse and a jail, and that's what it's still used for today. But before that, it was various fortifications going way back to 11 AD. So let's have a look at it and we'll tell you some stories. The first castle to be sited on this hill in the 11th century was established by King Malcolm III. It was just shortly after Inverness was granted the title Royal Burgh. In 1307 it was attacked and partially destroyed by Robert the Bruce during the Wars of Independence. It was later rebuilt by the Earl of Marl and passed to the Huntly family, but it was to be destroyed again in 1562 when Mary Queen of Scots held siege to the castle. It was then taken from the Huntleys by Oliver Cromwell in 1652, but on the death of the king, the castle was dismantled and the stone used to build the Ness Bridge. Again it was rebuilt in 1725 as a means to control the unruly Highland clans, but it was captured again by Bonnie Prince Charlie in 1746. However, after his defeat at Culloden, the castle was blown up by the government forces. It has certainly had an interesting past.
When Mary Queen of Scots visited in 1562, the governor had entrusted the castle to his captain. The captain refused her entry and caused great offence. So he was executed and his head displayed on the castle wall for all to see.
She was a nice person then, wasn't she?
Take heed.
She must have been a nice person, Mary Queen of Scots.
Yes.
Our next stop, Tain. That's us. We're in the town of Tain, which is a quaint little town, lovely wee buildings, so we'll have a wee walk around here. It happens to be the oldest borough, royal borough in Scotland, so it must have been the first appointed royal borough. I've read that Tain received its first royal charter in 1066, making it Scotland's oldest borough. So this is the Tain Rose Garden and it's got a nice wee bit in the centre there.
Wow, look at that, that's absolutely beautiful.
So it is. Well, that's us in Bruer now. We drove up, we passed Galsby, didn't bother stopping, just drove through it because we were going to go there the other night, or tomorrow night, some night anyway.
One night.
One night. So we've just stopped for a cup of tea here and you see there's this nice sandy beach over there. So we'll give a wee wander round about here and then start heading back up the road. We're actually on the North Coast 500 road, which I forgot existed now. It's been so many years since we've been up this road, I forgot it's been reinvented. Anyway, let's see
how old we are.
Let's see what else there is to see. So we're in Wick now, and we're at a street, Union Street, and just round the corner there is another street. This is River Street. And right on the corner is Ebenezer Place, and as you can see, it's only got one door, so it's actually reputed to be the shortest street in the world, and it's in Wick in Scotland. I read an interesting fact about the town, that in 1330 Scotland's standard unit of weight was brought into line with that of Thurso at the decree of King David II of Scotland. It kind of gives you a measure of the town's economic importance at that time. Using Thurso as a base, we drove along the north coast to visit Smoo Cave. Well, hello. We're now going to visit Smoo Cave, which is really far up north of Scotland in Sutherland. We've been watching some of the presenters on TV, on travel shows coming here, and we decided to pay a visit ourselves. I've actually been here before, but it was when I was a young kid, so bringing back some memories.
A long time ago, Glynn. Do you want me to take some stills as well?
What's that?
Do you want me to take some stills as well?
We will do, yeah.
You stay down there now. Oh, I didn't realise you were doing that. Wow.
Apparently Donald McMurray, henchman to the chiefs of Clan Mackay, was reputed to have murdered 19 people and disposed of the bodies down the waterfall here at Smoo. He was safe in the knowledge that the devil resided down below, and fear and superstition would mean they would never be discovered. Came again in the mid-18th century when excise officers tried to find an illegal still in the second chamber, but the boat they were being taken in was deliberately rowed under the waterfall and the two men drowned. Time to return to Thurso. Apparently the peat is so deep here, you could bury a 2-storey house, no bother. Today we set sail for Orkney. we're going to head to the Churchill Barriers. Churchill had ordered these barriers to be constructed at the start of World War II. It was to stop the German submarines from attacking the British fleet in the Scapa Flow. Our next visit is the Italian chapel. That's us, arrived on the island of Orkney, and I'm bringing Margot to the Italian chapel.
Wow, you would think that's actually real. You'd think that was tiles. It's so well done. How clever they must have been. They've been real artists, haven't they?
Certainly have. I just remember coming in here about 35 years ago and just my jaw just dropped and opened.
Even that wrought iron. I mean, obviously they've done all that as well.
Absolutely. It was Italian prisoners of war that constructed the Churchill Barriers. And of course, being Italian, they would be mostly Catholic. And they asked if they could have some place to worship. They were given a basic Nissen hut similar to this. And down to mainly 2 men, they turned it into this.
Wow, that was an absolutely amazing visit. This place is absolutely stunning.
Now off to Kirkwall. This is the model boating pond. Not much chance of model boats sailing today. Now off to Skara Brae. So this is us. We've arrived at Skara Brae to see the old ruins. And I'm glad we picked a lovely day to do it. It's about -2. The wind's blowing 28 miles an hour. However, could be worse, it could be even worse weather than this.
So these are all houses.
I mean, these were built 5,000 years ago. Look how well the walls are built. And they're still there 5,000 years later. Amazing. It's amazing to think that these were people's houses and they lived here 5,000 years ago with their stone beds that were filled with soft materials and their stone sideboards. It's just amazing. It's amazing to think that people were living here long before Stonehenge or before the Egyptian pyramids were built. In 1850 there was an almighty storm here, actually a bit like today, and it blew the sand off the top of a mound and exposed the top layer of these houses, and that's how it was discovered. We're now going into a reconstruction of one of the houses, and it gives you a real vivid idea of what it was like to be inside one. With a roof made from probably animal skins and a fire in the middle of the room, it was probably nice and warm. Well, that was a great visit, albeit wild weather, but it's now time to head back to Kirkwall. It's time to refuel. Our next visit is to Cuween Hill Chambered Cairn. We've reached the Chambered Hill Cairn, which is actually a 5,000-year-old tomb. Margot's a bit scared to go in, so I'm going to go in alone. It's so low, I have to get down on my hands and knees and crawl through. When it was excavated in 1901, they found the remains of at least 8 humans and the skulls of 24 dogs on the chamber floor. What's that strange mist in front of my eyes? I wonder if this place is haunted. Is there anybody there? Can you hear me? While I was in the tomb, Margot continued up the hill and she found this. Now off to explore Stromness before catching the ferry back to the mainland. So the next part of our adventure is to visit Fort George, and the entrance of which is just behind us. So looking forward to it. We've been wanting to come here for years, but most of the times we've been arriving it's been closed, or we didn't have tickets, you had to book ahead. However, we've got it planned this time, we've got a ticket to get in, so let's have a look round. This fort is said to be the finest example of 18th century military engineering anywhere in the British Isles, though the army base never actually fired a shot in anger. It was built to suppress the Jacobite ambitions after the nearby Battle of Culloden. Sorry to disturb you, mate. That was a great visit, but now it's time to move on again. We are now at Loch Morlich, which has got a beautiful sandy beach. It's just at the foot of the Cairngorms, which you can see behind us. I've been coming here since I was a kid and I've always loved it. I think it's one of the nicest beaches on a freshwater loch ever. We're surrounded by original Caledonian trees, Scots pines. They're just beautiful, sprouting out the sand. I'll show you around. Now we're going to head up those mountains. This is the highest telephone box in the UK. Right, it's time we're off to visit the next place that we're going to explore.
We're just heading up to the Falls of Bruer. We've been passing it by for years and thought we really have to find this place. So hopefully we'll find it.
Viewpoint.
Lovely, isn't it?
Well, let me tell you, I've thoroughly enjoyed that wee adventure that we did to celebrate our 49th wedding anniversary. I hope you enjoyed it as well and saw some interesting things. Did you enjoy it, Margot?
I've had a fabulous time, really enjoyed it. But I'm actually just ready to get home now, Glynn. I'm getting tired. But guess what? I'm going to try a wee bit of teleportation. Just in time for Emmerdale.